Hello and welcome to Awaz News. I am Kubra Ali and I'll be taking you through big news across Canada.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford said it would be disaster if Alberta left Canada after Premier Danielle Smith announced a vote this fall on whether the province should hold a referendum on separation. During a television address Thursday night, Smith announced that Albertans will head to the polls October 19 to vote on the matter. Federal Minister of Industry Melanie Joly was at the news conference alongside Ford and said that a strong Canada starts with a strong Alberta when asked about the referendum question. Joly's remarks echo those made by Prime Minister Mark Carney Friday morning during a tour of renovations at Parliament Hill. This building is in process of renovation. As I said, it's going to be better than ever when it's finished. Just like Canada is the greatest country in the world, but it can be better, and we are working on making it better. We are working with Alberta on making it better. 3 people have been charged in connection with an attempted jewelry distraction theft in Vaughan early this month. In a news release, York Regional Police say the incident happened on May 18 at around 3 p.m. in the Bathurst Glen Drive and Shasta Lane area after they received reports of suspicious person. Investigators say 3 men were in white Nissan Rogue attempted a jewelry distraction theft on an elderly resident before an observant citizen noticed the suspicious activity and contacted police. Police say the theft was interrupted and all 3 suspects were arrested. Investigators also say they recovered a quantity of counterfeit jewelry. Police noted this marks the second time since November 2025 that an observant Vaughan resident has alerted officers to elderly neighbors being targeted in a distraction theft investigation that later resulted in arrests. As a result of investigation, 33-year-old Evidio Alexandrio of Markham, 31-year-old Joseph Alexandrio of Pickering, and 34-year-old Florian Musata of Toronto have been charged with attempted theft and possession of property obtained by crime. Investigators believe there may be additional victims and are asking anyone with the information to contact police. Canada's top doctor says a person in Ontario tested negative for Ebola after returning from Ethiopia, noting the risk of virus affecting people in Canada remains low. Dr. Joss Reamer, Chief Public Officer of Health, says the patient was tested as a precaution after they had symptoms consistent with the disease ravaging the Democratic Republic of Congo. Reamer also outlined how Canada is responding to the outbreak abroad, including new screening measures at the border. Those measures include more staff at common points of entry and screening questions about where people have traveled and if they have symptoms. They came into effect on Wednesday. Quarantine officers will be at the border to assess incoming travelers who are flagged in the screening process. She said decisions around a travel ban are made by cabinet, but that she would be providing advice on the very fluid, rapidly evolving issue based on risk assessment that includes whether the virus is spreading to more areas. In an earlier press conference from Geneva, WHO Director General Dr. Tedros Adhanom said the risk of Ebola in the region it's affecting is now very high, while saying the global risk remains low. He says there are now almost 750 suspected cases and 177 suspected deaths. Tamara Jansen, the Conservative Member of Parliament for Cloverdale, Langley City in BC, announced the birth of her newest grandchild on social media, who appeared to be named after the late U.S. political commentator Charlie Kirk. Introducing the latest addition to our family, little Charlie Kirk Jansen, she wrote in a Facebook post on Wednesday. The post was edited on Thursday to remove any reference to the child's full name, though she still referred to him as Charlie, while advocating for the maintenance of close ties between Canada and the U.S. despite current political tensions. Many of the comments on the Jansen's Facebook post, which were limited only to people who have followed her page for the more than 24 hours, commended The family's choice to name her grandchild after Kirk, a popular but controversial political figure who founded the organization Turning Point USA. He was assassinated in Utah last year. Before his death, Kirk had amassed a large global following, mainly comprised of young conservatives who hailed his willingness to initiate dialogue on divisive issues in the U.S., including gun control, abortion, and immigration. But many on the political left criticized Kirk for making inflammatory and offensive comments that often further divided people on those same issues, with some claiming his speech would incite violence against minority groups. Johnson said in the post that the two countries should continue working to put aside their differences and work together like they have been for generations. Toronto police are asking for the public's help identifying a man wanted in a criminal harassment investigation in Leslieville. Police said a 29-year-old woman was walking in the area of Queen Street East and Broadview Avenue on Monday when a man began following her along the sidewalk. As the woman attempted to leave the area, the man continued to follow her. Officials say she was able to flee and later contact police. The suspect is described as 50 years old, standing between 5'8" and 5'9" with a medium build, dark complexion, and salt and pepper beard. Police said he is known to frequent the area of Danforth Avenue and Pape Avenue. Anyone with information is asked to come forward. The alleged southbound bandit who robbed 4 banks in York Region in 2012 has been arrested. York Regional Police said the arrest has made following a bank robbery in the afternoon of January 15 in the area of Young Street and Ilgan Mills Road in Markham. An unknown man entered the bank armed with firearm and made threats, police said. The man fled with a quantity of currency. Police said the DNA evidence recovered from the scene helped them identify the suspect and also link him to the 4 bank robberies in February 2012 committed by the southbound bandit. In a news release on Friday, the suspect was identified as 43-year-old Almir Mujovic of no fixed address. He has been charged with 5 counts of robbery with the firearm, 2 counts of disguise with intent, and 1 count of failure to comply with the judicial release order. Police said at the time of his arrest, Mujovic was on release order for an unrelated incident. Toronto police say a pedestrian has serious injuries after they were struck by a truck in Cabbagetown Friday afternoon. Emergency crews were called to the scene near Gerrard and Parliament Streets at 12:30 p.m. Gerrard Street is closed between Berkeley and Sumat Street for an investigation, police said. An officer is expected to provide an update from the scene at 3 p.m. No other details have been released.
Thank you for tuning in. I'm Kubra Ali. I'll see you back tomorrow, same time, same channel. Have a good night.